Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you are well. Welcome to episode 47 of Cross Button VR, our journey into the world of PSVR2, a show for those who want to share in our massive enthusiasm for the world of VR. Now, I'm your host, Laurie, but did you know we are part of the Cross Players? So if you like what you hear, check out links to all of our social content and our Discord, all in the description for this very episode. And if you are one of the many people watching us on YouTube, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already done so. Now, it is an absolute honor to be joined by two of the hippest influencers in the metaverse. It's Ben and Alex. Hello.
Broken hippest or something.
Broken hippest.
Two of the broken hips. Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting that way, aren't you? Alex, before we started recording, Alex was just telling us about his back problems and stuff. And famously. Yeah. It comes for us all.
I'm the youngest as well.
Are you?
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the Scottish wind.
Thanks.
Harsh air.
Yes, but you're both well. That's the main thing.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, good. Well, we've got a busy show, so let's jump straight into the news, shall we? And we start with the announcement that the most Alex game in the history of games is now coming to PSVR 2 in March. It is, of course, Aka R. Which is an Atari arcade style game. It's the kind of the lost Atari arcade that never actually got made, but is now out in VR. And yeah, if you haven't seen the trailer for this, do check it out. It looks pretty cool. And yeah, I just watched it thinking, my God, this is it could not be a more perfect Alex VR game to be made.
Yeah, I can't really disagree. Nice to see this come to VR. I think it's always a little bit surprising when games have been. Yeah.
We like them gamesies.
Little gamesy.
When games have been released not that long ago, and then suddenly it's announced to come to PS5 and PSVR 2. So, but looking forward to giving this a go because I've always quite fancied it. So it's the best way to play it for me.
Where was it released previously? Just on.
It's on PS4, Xbox, Switch, so kind of everything else really. So it's been.
Yeah, it looks like one of those games. I watched the trailer. I was like, can't really work out what's going on here, other than it's kind of an Atari arcadey shooting things that are coming towards you in waves. But all the stages kept kind of morphing and merging and switching into different things. It just looks totally psychedelic. It looks like it's kind of got that Tetris effect, that synesthesia of just getting in the flow state, which we all love.
We do. Yeah, good to see a bit of Atari. Did you? Alex, you played a bit of Atari 50 last year as well, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
That's like most of those games on there are pretty shite, but there's something pure about this sort of experience. You know, it's similar to like Masternoid. There you go. Mention one for the episode. That's got that just like old school arcade kind of flavour to it. So yeah, looks very interesting.
And it's funny because you had messaged me saying this is the most Alex game I'd ever seen. I'm like, no, look, here's a more Alex game because I had been playing this. So it's an early access game on Quest. It's called Blocks AR and it's basically 3D Tetris. And I'm like, this is the most Alex game you've ever seen. It's amazing. But this is a very, very Alex game as well.
Yeah, it looks cool, and I think it's out in March as well, so not long to wait on that one. So it's nice to see a good game. Dated or given a window anyway. I think it reviewed really well, didn't it? So yeah, looking forward to this one.
I've reached out to the publicist to find out. So because it's been out in PS4, they haven't been clearing the press releases around whether any PS4 owners will get a free upgrade to PS5 or PSVR 2 version or an upgrade path. So I've tried to find that out, and if I manage to find it, I'll share that information on Twitter. Sorry, X.
No, Twitter.
X.
Don't pander to Elon silly
West.
To Musk. Don't pander to Musk. Cool. Well, people will have noticed that this week there's been CES. What does that stand for? Don't know. Some
computer electronics
show or something.
Yeah. Okay. Some big show.
Consumer electronics show.
There you go. Yeah. See, we got there in the end. professionals that we are. It's a big show anyway, showing off loads of cool gadgets and gizmos and cool shit, and also lots of AI crap. But lots of headsets and things been revealed, and new TVs and stuff. And Sony went and revealed a new VR headset as a fully kind of portable, standalone thing, not really designed for gaming use. They said it's more aimed at kind of an enterprise use, so kind of businesses to use for business applications. And they described it as delivering spatial content creation, which is like, God, that shows you the power of Apple there. Now everyone else is using their stupid spatial computing type words, although they're not quite using spatial computing. I wonder if Apple have got the patent on that phrasing. But yeah, it's a new headset. It's looked like quite a cool kind of flip up display visor thing on it, which looked quite cool. But it was just interesting to see that Sony definitely see VR as, this is a market their tech people want to keep developing products in and keep pushing forward the medium and having a part in it and stuff. And I wonder if that's why PSVR 2 was invented in the first place, just because they've got this tech team, these innovators, this technical team that just want to make this hardware. And then like the gaming people are like, oh, we don't really want it. We don't need it. We've got a winning console already. And they're like, no, shut up. We've made this headset now. We want you to push it.
We've done the R&D. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's make some money from it. Yeah.
And they're like, oh God, all right, we'll put it out there. Because it kind of feels like that part of Sony like really loves VR, the kind of the sort of techie people that are making all the R&D stuff behind it and just creating this like amazing technology. But then the gaming people, the PlayStation people are like, oh God, I don't really know what to do with this. so yeah. But anyway, it looks like a cool device. So good to see them pushing forward and keep innovating there.
Yeah.
And presumably will be cheaper than the Apple thing.
You'd
hope so, wouldn't you? You'd hope so. Because that also got a release date. That's segues nicely onto the next piece of news. The Apple Vision Pro is launching on the 2nd of February. And I think the pre-orders for it are going to be, I think they're probably live by the time this episode goes out. So, and probably it's already sold out because they're only making less than, or fewer than 100,000 of the things. So I don't think they're expecting it to be a big seller, which at $3,500 is not surprising.
No. They've also now, I read something earlier, they've confirmed that you need to have either an iPhone or an iPad Pro to be able to order it, because you need to scan your face for it to fit.
Yeah, but I mean, who the fuck's buying this that doesn't own an iPhone? Come on, you're spending $3,500 on this thing.
I might have.
You need to be quite heavily invested in the Apple ecosystem. You fucking weren't going to buy it. You need to really be in the ecosystem. It doesn't have any games or anything. They only the advert for it. They put out a sort of flashy advert of people putting on headsets and visors and goggles and stuff over the ages and stuff, which was quite cool. And
I just wanted the googly eyes.
Yeah, well, then in the end, it skipped to someone putting it on, and it just had the home screen menu like you have on your phone, but just suspended in midair. And it's like seriously the most exciting thing you can show on it. It's like here's the apps that you've got on your phone, but they're now floating in your living room. It's like that doesn't seem worth $3,500.
Well, if we happen to get one for review purposes, then it would have to go to Laurie, because he's the only one that's in the Apple ecosystem.
Yeah, yes. Apple fanboy here.
Being a basic bitch finally pays off. Amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, if Apple do listen to this podcast, and frankly they should do, fuckers, then yeah, they probably should send us one for review. Yeah.
Yep.
Why not?
We'll rebrand. Sure.
Yeah, well, if you're going to send one of them.
Cross Vision Pro.
Cross Vision Pro button. We'll work on that. Cool. And then the other bit of news, we've been waiting for a release date for Vertigo 2 after it was given a last-minute delay, and it has now been released. We found out this week it's coming. As at the time we're recording it, it's, I think, going to be a couple of days away, but by the time this episode goes out, people are going to be playing the damn thing. So yeah, it's great that that's finally getting out. People have been loving it. There's been lots of reviews that have dropped for it this week, as obviously the embargo has now come up, so lots of people have posted their reviews for it, and people, they absolutely love it, don't they?
Seem to.
Yeah.
Like, been a lot of, seems to have been, the general feeling seems to have been a lot of love, but which is nice, because it's a bigger game, it's a first person game, there's a bit of nostalgia in there to a certain extent in terms of the theme of the game, but it's nice that they've taken the time, they seem to have fixed whatever issues that they've had, and it is delivering a product which is very, very good quality, which is what you want.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've apparently fixed whatever the game-breaking bug that was causing it problems, significant problems enough to delay it. But there are still lots of issues I'm finding with it. I think I'm on chapter 7 or 8 now, and there's lots of things, lots of bugs with it still. Sometimes I'll load into what's happened a few times, which is the most annoying thing I've ever happened to me in a game. I think is I'll load into a new section, and then for no reason whatsoever, I'll just start taking damage, and it'll go like as if you're being hit by something, and it'll go 5, 10, 15. Your health will just go down, and you just stand there 10 seconds while I'll be walking around, moving around, looking around. Like, what is doing this to me? And I'll just be in a completely safe area like a lift or a hallway, nothing around to me, and then I'll be dead. And then it reloads me back in 5 minutes earlier before I've just done a big battle with something, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, I've got to do this bit again now. And despite loading a new section, there's lots of little things like that that are quite irritating for me. So which is a shame. And you do realise that this is a big, ambitious game with big areas, graphics. You know, it's a big game, but it's just made by a very, very small team. And yeah, there are the bits. I just was like, oh god, I wish I was playing this game, and this really was a AAA game with that kind of budget behind it and had that level of polish that I'm crying out for, because I love the idea. I've been saying I don't like these multiplayer shooters, these breaches and these sorts of things. I want a storyline. I love Half-Life. Give me a first-person shooter. If for me to be engaged in a first-person shooter, I need to be invested and interested in what I'm doing rather than just shooting waves of military guys. And this has a story. It's funny. It's quirky. I like it. But yeah, it's just give me that what I want. But then it's not. It doesn't have this that level of quality that's not reaching for me, which is frustrating.
That's a shame.
Yeah. And there's some things like the enemy AI is just sometimes enemies just don't notice you're there, and you can just walk straight up to them and shoot them in the head, and it's like, oh, okay, that was easy. It's like
what difficulty are you playing on?
Just a normal thing, or no? I think there's like story, then easy, then
normal,
then maybe it's normal. So I think I've probably gone easy.
Yeah. So I think easy, because I noticed that when I started it, easy is like enemies will basically ignore you for the most part until you,
I mean, okay, but that's just a difficult setting. I don't want to make it harder.
No,
I want it to be sort of easy, and I don't want it to push too hard against me. But I want enemies to just kind of notice me if I'm walking right in front of them. It's not like I'm being stealthy here. just literally don't see you, and you can just walk right up to them and shoot them in the head. It's like they're not responding to your presence. That's not a difficulty thing. That's just it's not registering that I'm there.
Yeah. So you said you're chapter 7, you reckon? Do we know how many chapters there are?
I do not. No.
I
It feels like I think there's going to be quite a lot. It doesn't feel like I'm that far through it still. I mean, I've unlocked like 4 guns out of, I think there's 10 or so. So I think I've still got good. I think I'd say about a third of the way through the game at most. I'd guess.
Oh wow, it's quite meaty then.
Yeah. I think it's a good sort of 10, 15-hour campaign, I think.
Yeah, I think it is quite something like that.
Yeah, and it's really, when it's good, it's really good. But then there are bits that I get really frustrated with, or it's just like I just get fed up playing with it. I want to play something else. But the shooting for the most part is good, but at the same time, some of the guns, they just don't feel like it's just kind of like a light gun game almost. You kind of shoot, and it's just like you see like a little flash where you're hitting an enemy, but it doesn't seem to do any damage until the final shot where they're dead, and then they fall over. So it's like stuff like that. It's just, it all feels a bit kind of basic, and and like aiming can be a bit kind of haphazard, and you don't really get a sense of what you're shooting at. The guns themselves are fantastically designed. Reloading them is really satisfying. That works really well. I love, my main go-to is the kind of shotgun at the moment, and you have to pump it every time you reload it.
Yeah.
So it's just very, very tactile. Feels really good. And I feel with a shotgun, the issues around aiming are less of an issue, because you just kind of get close to things anyway, just shoot them with a shotgun. I mean, I will keep playing. It definitely has me hooked, but I just for me, it's just like, oh, this is good, but I just wish it had that extra level of class and polish, and just to really take it up a gear, and just to get rid of all these kind of bugs and things. And I wonder if it's for people on the fence of it. I wonder if they're going to keep patching it and they'll just keep ironing out some of these things still, and they'll just keep adding more polish to it, because I think then it really would shine.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably, as you said, it's a small team, and there's only so much that they can do. But I mean, it's not in a bad state at all.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, don't get me wrong. And I also do, despite what I'm saying, it is completely astonishing to me that one or two people can make something like this in this day and age. It's insane. Someone can make something like this. But still, if you're putting a game out, can you judge it? I can't just say, you get a pass because there's only one person making this. It's like, there are some things, but like I say, the consensus out there. Most people seem much more positive on it than I am. So don't let my views put you off, people. I think if you're interested in this game and you want to play a single player story driven shooter like Half-Life, and if you like Half-Life, I think you definitely like this, because the guys, I think he used to work at Valve, so he definitely has that Valve DNA in him. The guy that made this, Zach someone, so he's got that. There's lots of nods and jokes and references to Half-Life and Portal. So there's lots of that nods and winks and things. The enemies are very funny and very bizarre and strange and weird, and the variety of where you're going is really good. Like you'll be in a kind of lava, like magma filled reactor base thing, and then you'll be underwater. Next minute it's very kind of organic sections where there's lots of kind of really kind of weird organic-y type enemies and things talking to you like meshed into the wall. It's really like imaginative and crazy, and in VR that side of things is really cool. So I do like this game. I don't want to put me wrong. I do really like this game, and it is enjoyable. For me, I don't think I'm as hot on it as sort of some people who say it's like one of the best games out on the platform yet. And for me, it's because of that kind of lack of polish and the kind of the bugs that take me out of it and stuff. So yeah, just being honest. But have you two played it much?
I haven't played as much as you. I have played it, and I've played a little bit since they patched it, but I've not had much time this week to properly revisit it. So I will go back and get right into it. But what I've played, I've enjoyed. I'm not a big shooter person at all. So this kind of game doesn't appeal to me as much as maybe some other people. But like, as you say, the guns are really satisfying, particularly the shotgun. I like how the ammo replenishes, and it's just there. You're not searching for it. You don't need to think about it, really. It's just, as you say, it's an amazing achievement for such a small team, and it really does shine on the PSVR2. I would say they've done a really good job of porting it. It's just, and they will polish it, and it'll get there. But I've not had as many issues as you seem to have, but I'm not as far on. So,
similarly, I'm not as far as you. I've only really just got the shotgun, so I'm very early on. But that is, I think I've played enough of it. For me personally, I don't know. I'd love to know what the frame rate is, because it's making me feel yucky playing it, and I don't know why a game like Synapse I can be absolutely fine playing, and it's technically the same thing. The movement's the same, but in this, 15 minutes is more than enough for me to start feeling like, I don't want to play this anymore, which is kind of a shame, because I quite like is a bit strong. The overall aesthetic of it is cool. Like, I'm all right with that. Like, the sort of cartooniness of it is much more in line with what I would enjoy, more so than a kind of pseudo realistic shooter. So it's got that going for it. And as you said, literally just finished playing Portal for the first time, and the little nods to that, like seeing a little portal gun behind the glass, is just, that was cool. But and the little puzzle elements of, just simple little things, finding a code, then finding where you need to type that code in, stuff like that. The kind of more Metroid-y stuff, like first-person adventure rather than a shooter. I think when it gets into the shooting parts of it, I don't know, it just all feels a bit cheap and cheerful for me. And unfortunately, I don't think I can really play it anymore because it's just it hasn't got enough about it for me to want to play what sounds like it could be a 10-hour game in 15 minutes. Because that'll take me all fucking year.
If it's not agreeing with you, then you don't. I don't think you should be pushing on. I wouldn't have said this is kind of a Ben game in the first place. I don't. Just knowing about the sorts of things that you like, VR and non-VR, and more on that later. But I wouldn't have pegged this as being a Ben game.
No. I mean, I think it was one of the only PSVR2 games that I put on my wish list because I kind of like the humorous look of it and the colourful look of it. But now having played it, I'm like, no, I'm out. But very much interested to hear your thoughts as you progress through it, Laurie.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've probably about as far in this as I am in Arizona Sunshine 2, and I would say that I'm much prefer Arizona Sunshine 2.
Yeah.
That I'm finding that more fun and satisfying to play, and that does have that level of polish. Again, it just comes from it's got a much bigger team, much bigger budget and stuff. So I don't want to knock what they've achieved with Vertigo 2, but if I had the choice between them, I just think the style of Arizona Sunshine 2 is just a bit more fun to play, I think. So,
yep,
yeah. Cool. All right. Well, what else have we been playing, chaps? I think we've all also been playing Toy Trains. So let's chat about that one. And
choo choo.
And Alex, you popped a little review out for that this week, didn't you?
I did, because I played this over Christmas and I had the loveliest time. Like, genuinely the loveliest time playing this game. It is so nice. Like, there's just something. I think as Ben said earlier, like there's just something special about it. Like it.
I mean, he said it on our WhatsApp group.
He did, yeah, sorry. But,
anyone thinking they missed that bit?
No, he didn't say it on here, sorry. But Ben mentioned earlier to us that it's something, and there is. Like, it really, it's so simple. And I think that's its charm. Like, you genuinely feel like you're transported into this attic. You can almost feel yourself going back to your childhood. Like, it's so immersive. You feel the story, you take it in, you get the little postcards, you see the little trains, you build the little tracks, and I could have just spent hours and hours and hours and hours and not turned it off. Like, you could have just left me there all day and I would have been so happy.
I love the menus in this game. I love the book and
UI.
the way you use the way you select a level by pulling on those little tags, and it's just the right amount of pull. It's just so satisfying. And when you want to read a text message, you don't just hit a button, you just have a little text bubble and you give it a little pinch and just pull it. It's just such a nice tactile way to interact with the game, and I hope more VR developers see what they've done here and use that same approach.
Yeah. It's even like the little bit of humour that's in there as well, and it's like they've taken it incredibly seriously, because you can tell how much care they've put into this game. Like, they really wanted to make like a game that was simple and accessible and like anybody could play. But it's like the daft little things. It's like when you've got all the different shapes of track, and you've got the long straight, the medium straight, and the small straight, but there's like an extra A in each one that you probably don't even notice, but they've just put these little daft things in the names of it. And I think the only real button press you have is rotating the tracks with the thumbstick. Other than that, it's selecting the trigger and rotating the tracks, and there's no other. Everything else is just pulling all these little toggles and tags. And
so, full disclosure, so I played it all in one sitting, and then I listened to your review of it again after I played it, and I had no idea you could rotate the pieces.
So you were like,
I was like
in your hand
and dropping them and then tilting them. Yeah, because it doesn't actually tell you any of the controls, does it? So I was literally just using
but you could
triggers to grab,
turn, put it down, pick it up, turn it.
And that's what I was doing. But if I'd have known you could just rotate it with the thumbstick,
so I love how when you
probably done that.
Get the pieces, you can just put them down, and I'll pick that up again later. You can
chuck them
tinker with things.
Oh, I love just throwing them. Just no, get rid of that. Get rid of that. The whole thing, not just the UI, but the whole game is so tactile, isn't it? In the way there's like there's a discrete grid that everything, you don't see the grid, but everything has a place.
Yeah.
And it's very, very well made as well. It doesn't feel like it's, you know, if you put a piece in the wrong place, it might wobble around and jutter a little bit. And that's a bit, you know, you can forgive that. But it generally just feels really solid and chunky. And it does feel like you're playing with the toy. And it's, yeah.
And I like when
pleasing.
you can see the little people, and you can really, if you really put your head close to them, you can really get close and see them and see the little detail and just the little trees and the buildings. And then when you stood up or when you sat down playing it normally, they're all quite small, but just the way you can really sort of zoom in and look at them just physically, just get your face up and just you really, there's so much detail and characters of them all. I just love it. They just look so real. Also
the sound. So when you lean in, you can hear stuff more. Like you can hear the wind rushing through your ears and stuff. And yeah, it's just
the sound design is excellent, which I don't think I actually mentioned on the
the music is good as well.
Track
actually,
and the music is lovely.
Yeah.
The whole thing is lovely.
So
even like I was going to say, like, and it's not quite a sandbox because obviously you're there, like, but it just lets you do whatever you want and whatever way you want. It's not like there's one right answer. It's like you can be as adventurous as you want. You can just get from A to B and complete it if you want to do that. You can decorate it as much as you want. You can, like, because I know when you get to, I don't know how far in you've got, Laurie, but I know when you finish it. But when you get to the last level, I feel like you can just go mental. Just go absolutely crazy and build like the most ridiculous track you could ever imagine, but it's fun.
So so let me. I've played it and I played it for probably half an hour. I did 3 or 4 or 5 levels. I think I did the first few with bridges on. So still quite early on the game, but for me, and I appreciate I haven't played this long enough, and the fact that you guys love it tells me that there's more to see with it. But I was a bit bored doing those first few levels, and I was just like, okay, there's another house pops up, build another circular track. I'm like, really? I've got to do that again, have I? And then another house pops up, for fuck's sake. And just, I kind of was getting a bit bored just putting down the pieces of track because there's no puzzle or challenge to it. You just take the pieces you need and put them down.
It does get more challenging.
Like, bridges, okay, but I can still just make a circular track and pop a train on it, and then off it goes. And I think I was like, am I not getting something here? Is there some level of complication here that I'm not seeing? Because for me, I was just like, I'm getting a bit bored of this. And the fact that everyone would describe it as such a chill game, I was like, well, this is very chill to the point that I'm just quite bored of this.
It's easy.
It's not easy, it's just boring. It's like, because although it is very tactile and nice to do, you still have to, like, one at a time put all the pieces down. And if the house is on the kind of far corner, you need maybe a dozen pieces. So it's like there's no challenge or puzzle. It's just a slightly tedious process of putting them all down. And so that was for me. I was just like, I played it. I only had a bit of time before I needed to play something else. So I was just let's play it quickly, and that's got as far as I got. But by the time I was I'm ready to stop playing this and play something else now, because I'm not really in the mood for something quite so zen and chill as this. As lovely as it all was, don't get me wrong, it was all lovely and it all did everything brilliantly. But for me, I was like, when is this going to get challenging or a bit more complicated?
I mean, I don't think
I'd say the back half gets more complex, and basically every level introduces a new piece of some kind, which you then can or you don't necessarily have to incorporate it into every track you make after that. But it gets more complicated as you go. And I think half the fun I had, because you, like you said, you do a simple loop to start with, and then the next phase of it, every level's got 3 phases, and then the next phase it'll introduce 2 more houses that you need to connect, or 3 more, and then the next phase will introduce a couple more. So part of the fun I had was guessing where all the houses were going to be in the next couple of phases and trying to link it all up on my first go in advance, and then basically getting ahead of myself. And 9 times out of 10 I was right, but like the last few levels I was like, no idea how I'm going to do this until all the houses are there. But
I've got no idea.
Yeah,
I've got no idea what you're talking about, linking them up. Do you not just build circular tracks from the house to the
no,
thing?
No, it gets to the stage that you can't do that. It gets to the stage you need to start like redoing the tracks and kind of interlinking it, and rather than just building individual circles. Like so,
I didn't consider just doing separate tracks. Mine were all just one loop the whole way. Like every level, I'd just expand out that loop. So there's only ever one track. So maybe that's
different
that's
ways
where
you
the
can do it.
challenge
You can do it
lies.
whatever way you want to do it. Because I found, I think the early levels I did more like you did, Laurie, and I had like each bit I was just building an extra little loop to join the houses, but it got to the stage I couldn't do that anymore. Like you had to take what you'd done for the first bit apart and then reroute it and start to think about, because the terrain and stuff changed and you had to go up and down levels and
And how long a game is this to complete?
2 hours, 2.5,
2 or 3 maybe.
Yeah, so it must be a good kind of, well, maybe a quarter of the way through.
You're probably just on the cusp of it kind of starting to change. It does, the early levels kind of introduce all the different bits, and then after that it just starts to get a little bit more complicated. But it's never like challenging. I wouldn't say it's ever challenging, but it certainly makes you think a bit more.
I have a feeling as well, you two like this game, just it made me laugh because you started playing it, literally you just click start a level, pling, you got a trophy, silver trophy for starting the game, and I'm like, what the fuck, I haven't done anything. Like, oh, this is why these two fucking love this game. Everything you do, you pick up an object, bling, you picked up an object. Like,
I'm sitting here waiting,
that's the
and I'm
whole
like,
game.
when are the trophies going to go live? Like, I want to see if I was the first person to get the platinum trophy on PSN Profile.
Have you have platinum then?
I have platinum
then.
Yeah.
Is it? I can imagine it's quite generous, quite easy to platinum, right? Is it just like, oh, you finished the game, here's the platinum?
Not quite.
Yeah, I've
There's
no
a wee
idea
bit more
what
you
I've
need to do,
missed.
but
how do you know what the trophies are? Because I can't even see.
I'll tell you which is kit.
Okay. Okay. Because my one of my only issues with it was at the end of the end credits, it crashed, so I couldn't progress anymore. So it didn't track my completion of the last level. But then in a way, I'm like, oh, that's good, because I can think how I would have done that better now, like in a less convoluted way than I did it before. So brilliant. One other thing, just from your excellent review of it, Alex, you mentioned something about the story, about you are playing as a kid whose grandparents are looking after them while their parents are on holiday. Where did you get that from?
The postcards on the in between levels, there's postcards from your parents they send to you.
But aren't they just pictures?
No, but it does tell you there is writing on it. You can read it.
Yeah, there's text, you can read them.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that has a little pull toggle thing as well, that you get the text.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to replay it now. Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't see any of that. So I was making up this narrative in my head, like, oh God, what's wrong? What's happened to my parents? Like, and it was making the game more emotional for me, because it made it a bit like Before Your Eyes. I was like,
did it make you cry?
oh God, are they having like couples counselling? Are they in some sort of danger?
They were desperately away on work. They were definitely.
I've just gone on a little jolly.
All right.
I feel guilty because I'm going away without my kids and leaving them with their grandparents in a few months' time. So it's just like, imagine my son's going to be there playing forlornly with some toy trains.
And perfect timing. My child is now crying, so off I go.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good, because we can segue on. If people want to hear more about toy trains, they can listen to Alex's bloody reek good review that is on our YouTube page. Now, Alex, you have played through the entirety, speaking of games that you can complete in a few hours, of Red Matter. So you've joined me in the Red Matter fan club.
Yes, and I loved it. Like, so I had played Red Matter 2 first last year and loved Red Matter 2, and it's taken me ages to actually sit down and play Red Matter 1. So I think last weekend I sat on a Saturday morning, played a huge chunk of it, and then finished it off on the Sunday. It took me under 2 hours to finish the whole game, which I was quite surprised at, and I think that was less than you.
People listening, do not think this is like you've got to have to really power through it to think into, like, there's bits of it that are almost like scripted. I don't know how you got through it all in 2 hours.
I don't know if it's just because I'd played the second one first, so I kind of knew what I was doing. So, like, whereas because the second one is similar to the first, but expanded, and there's no combat or anything in the first one, it was more, right, well, I've got a rough idea of what I need to do here. I know what the puzzles kind of entail. I know what I'm looking for to a certain extent.
You understood the language of the game.
So I think it was more, I probably didn't do as much exploration as maybe I did in the first one, because I knew I didn't need to. In the second one, because I already understood, like, well, this is probably going to do that, and when I looked at things I understood, well, that's probably going to be part of this puzzle, and that's probably going to be part. So I already understood the language of the game, which probably made it a little bit quicker.
I just think there are bits where, like, you're getting the radio guys like talking to you, and you go through those sections where you're getting the kind of flashback bits. So I don't want to sort of spoil anything, but you're getting the bits of story that get played out. That takes a good chunk of the time up. So especially at the end of it as well, there's quite a lot towards the end. So I don't know how you've managed to race through, even just knowing the solutions to the puzzles at the end. I think if I replayed it now, I think knowing it all, I think I'd struggle to get through it in 2 hours. So yeah, kudos to you. You're clearly.
I really enjoyed it. Like it's just such a great pair of games. Like it looks so good. Like, and then to think, if you didn't have the second one, you would be like, oh my god, this looks amazing. But having played the second one and knowing that it does look even better and play even better, like it's just, there's not quite been another game that set that sort of atmosphere and tension, I feel, even though it's not a scary game in any way, shape or form, but it always feels you always feel a little bit on edge, like all through it. And I don't know if that's just the sound or just something about it, but it's so well done.
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere is quite scary. It does have that kind of horror movie type vibe to it, where there is definitely something unnerving, something is not right with it. And without, I don't want to say anything more than that because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. But having played this one now, does it make you think? Like, I haven't played the second one, so did you kind of wish that you had played this one before playing the second one? Does it mean that the second one would have made more sense? Because there's quite a lot of important story that happens here. There's quite a lot of stuff goes down in this one.
I think it's certainly understanding, having played the second one, like I understood the context a lot more quicker, I think, in the first one, because it already made sense from what I'd seen in the second. So I think it is a shame I didn't get to play them in the right order, but I couldn't play Red Matter 1 when I played Red Matter 2. It just wasn't possible.
Yeah, it wasn't available, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't even know that it was coming later. Yeah. So yeah, you did the right thing playing it then. I really want to get around to playing that. It's probably quite high up the list of that and Call of the Mountain. I was just like, I really want to play this game.
That's another one that I've gone back to playing because I've played that. I've started now playing Moss Book 2, but I wouldn't say too much about it just now, so I'm not far enough through it to really do it any justice.
Another one. Pistol Whip as well. I keep getting the Pistol Whip itch and Beat Saber. So like, I can't believe I still haven't played Beat Saber. It's like, it's the VR game. VR game one game to rule them all. But we keep getting all these great games to play and to try out and to talk about and stuff, and new releases. So we are duty bound, Alex. We need to keep playing them and sharing our hottest of hot takes on them.
There's more. I mean, it's not like there's more coming because not the couple of days. I don't know. Is it 2 days after this podcast comes out? We've got Bulletstorm coming, so we'll have thoughts on that next week. Yes, there's no rest for the wicked, as they say.
Well, I have been playing a bit more, not for broadcast. Still, what I said before still stands. It's still a very funny game. It is that sort of style of game where the further you get, like, they layer on more and more complexity and more things to do. So there's now, it's kind of a spoiler, but it's not really a spoiler. There's these toy pink bears that have taken over society, and it's in the game. You're broadcasting the news. There's a lockdown on, so there's a bit of a kind of COVID spoof element to it. There's a whole lockdown, except in this is caused by this outbreak of these killer pink bears, these toy bears that are trying to take over the world. But again, the news are reporting this very deadpan, very serious, that these murderous teddies are on the loose. So it still gets more and more complex, still funny. What I would say is there are some bits that you just think, oh, this isn't working, this isn't very funny, and it might be like a 10-minute segment on the news, so you can't just kind of skip it and you think, oh god, like, you're busy doing stuff anyway, like mixing the TV editing and stuff. But some bits, the news broadcast is really funny and hilarious and stuff, and then some bits are they just try and be wacky and strange. It just doesn't land. It just doesn't work, and you think, oh god, guys, this one didn't quite work out for you. This is a swing and a miss, I'm afraid. And then you kind of just stuck watching it for 10 minutes, which is a bit annoying. But I guess like they can't all be. Yes, I think some people will like some and some people like others, and it'll be different for different people. So I guess I can't like them all. So it just depends on your sense of humour, I guess. But yeah, that's one thing I've noted for it. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying it, still, all the same. And then Alex, you've been playing a bit of Breachers, haven't you?
I have. So I mean, as I said earlier, shooting games are not really my thing, but a lot of the guys on the Discord have been trying to get a squad together, and I'm like, I'll take one for the team here, and I'm going to go and try, and I'll try and play. And I mean, did I have fun? Probably not, but like it's kind of. It did get to a stage. So I mean, I can understand why people really like this game. I think if this is the type of game like that Rainbow Six Siege type game, kind of team based extraction shooter, or you'll love it. But it's not really for me when you're playing against all these people online who actually love. Who are just like too good at it, as you said. And there was 4 of us, and it's teams of 5, and then there was this American guy who came on that we thought he was like knew absolutely everything, and he was just like, "Don't choose that gun, choose this gun, do this, do that," and we're like, "No,
Sorry, yes, sir.
yeah,
You're
we're
like,
like, no,
"Fuck
I'll
off."
do it like here. I've got no idea what we've done." But then after that, what we did was we went in and played 5v5 in a private room, and it played you against bots. So it was just us 5 against bots, or us 4 with a bot on our team against bots, and that was far more fun. Like, so if we were to do that together, I think we'd quite like it, because you're just playing these bots, and you can see them coming, or you can't. But I actually managed to kill a few of them. I got some trophies. It was nice, far more fun. And there's all these wee things you can play with in the lobbies, and we just had lots of fun time playing with throwing and catching balls. Like, why would you not want to do that? That was more fun than shooting. So, that
I would
be
enjoy this game if it was a single player campaign against bots and it was scripted story elements. You know, you could have some terrorists trying to take over the world situation, and you just have to break in and try and stop the bombs going off and stuff.
Yeah.
Do that 3 or 4 times. That's your campaign. I'd enjoy that. I'd like it. And if it was shooting enemies and stuff that had an AI that you could set that was fun for me, I'd want to do that. But playing against actual humans who are really fucking good at this, it's just not fun for me. And
No.
I was like, it wasn't for you either. And that's. But I guess this sort of game isn't for us. We're not the audience for this game. You need to be in this ecosystem. But I guess the developers of these games, it's a challenge for them is to work out how to make it more open to newcomers, really, and to make it more welcoming. Because at the moment, for me, as a complete newcomer, it is a completely unwelcoming experience that you just cannot even see someone before you're dead. And then 5 times that happens, and then the game's over and you've lost. It's like,
I think the key for us, if we were to play this, is to go and do that in the private lobby and play against bots, because it's much easier for learning. But if you go and do things like, see, in terms of even just getting in and going to the shooting range, and there's like different challenges for each of the guns to unlock, and you get 3 different modes just for hitting the targets and stuff like that. That's actually quite fun, and the guns and everything, the reload and all that's really good. So the actual mechanics of this game are brilliant. It's just not necessarily the type of game that I enjoy. I tried.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, I'll try it in a private lobby. Yeah, I'll be up for that.
And so, Alex, with Reese, when you play with him, is he much warmer on this game? Does he enjoy it?
He loves this. He absolutely loves this.
Yeah, so people listening to this, take Reese's view. If you're into these sorts of games, then Reese is our multiplayer shooter correspondent, and yeah, he loves this game. So if it comes with his seal of approval, then that's all you need to know. Don't listen.
And if you're looking for people to play, come join the Discord, because there's at least 3 or 4 people in there that are quite happy to go and play this. So you will find there will be people in there to play with. Definitely,
won't be us 3, but yeah,
there's other people.
There's other people who do enjoy it. So
who are really good.
If you want to game of golf, you come to the right place.
Yeah, cool. All right, yeah, that's cool. Good. Well, we've been playing lots in this week, haven't we? Lots of variety going on there. What a vibrant ecosystem PSVR2 is, with lots to play. Good. Well, if people want to support us, they can please give the podcast a subscribe on the service they're using, and leave us a review too, please. And follow us on Twitter at CrossButtonVR and at The Cross Players. If you really would like to show the love, you can do so by patreon.com/The Cross Players. And for £2 a month, you can help us produce the show and gain entry into our exclusive WhatsApp group of fun. And Ben, are we still doing the sponsor thing?
Always.
We're still talking about that.
Off.
Well, over to you then, Ben.
Every week. I mean, you could do it, but yeah, 10% off at VR Rock
next week.
VR-rock.com.
You can't even remember. Have another go at that, Ben. Come on.
I didn't realise you were going to throw me under the bus again. Yeah, great prescription lenses for all manner of VR headsets, and use code CBVR to get 10% off and free worldwide shipping at vr-rock.com.
Well done. Now, regular listeners will remember that a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago now, we did our Alex special where we got to know a little bit more about a member of the team, our beloved Alex. And we thought we would do so again because it is none other than Ben's birthday next week. You're going to be how old? We don't need to go into that, do we?
No.
Birthday boy Ben. Happy birthday for the time we record the next episode. I think your birthday would have passed. So this episode comes out, is it the day before your birthday or the day of your birthday?
2 days before.
2 days before your birthday. Okay, well, consider this an early birthday treat for yourself then, Ben. Before we'd like to get to know you a bit more, Ben. What makes you tick, Benjamin? Are you a Benjamin?
Okay.
Can I call you Benjamin?
No, it's just Ben.
Is it?
Just Ben. Yep.
Not Benedict.
It's just Ben. Just Ben. Not Benoit.
Benedict.
Just Ben.
Benji.
Benny. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, no, we'd like to know a bit more about you and your gaming taste. So tell us who, what was your route into gaming, Ben? What's your earliest gaming memory as a wee Ben?
Pong.
Alex would say.
Probably my elder brother has my elderly brother has a he's 10 years older than me, and he had a Commodore VIC-20.
Oh wow.
Which was like, I think the precursor to the Commodore 64. And I was just always fascinated by the bleeps and bloops and just, the fact that you could play games off a cassette, which was just madness. Really simple, probably pretty shit games, as we were saying about Atari earlier. But I was always fascinated by them. And I think I got my first console was the NES, and I got that one Christmas. I don't know, 1990 maybe, something like that. And with Turtles game bundled.
Oh, you poor thing.
And
did you get past that underwater sewer level? Did you make it through that level? No, of course
never. No.
I
was obsessed with Turtles at the time, and played that. I think I got a few other the black box games like soccer, which I just used to play relentlessly, and now you play it now and it's like, oh my god, this is awful. That was it really. Very much a sort of Nintendo kid, which there weren't many of us, to be honest, growing up.
Well, you say that. I had a NES growing up, but people always, you hear like on IGN podcasts, like, oh, they didn't have NESs in the UK.
No,
yeah, they did. I had one.
They did.
We all
but
had
I
one.
would say Sega was a lot more prevalent.
You reckon?
Certainly from the Mega Drive era onwards, I would say, up until they shot themselves in the foot. But I basically, sort of vacillated between Sega and Nintendo. Thanks. I am a grown up. That just loved it. Fell out of gaming probably around the Wii era. That was probably my time when I was like, this is actually not for me. This is a bit crap. So I had a good... So if you ever wonder why haven't I played any games from like 2010 to 2016, 17, that's why. It's because I just...
Did you took a hiatus until the Switch, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So I was just, I still had like a 360 and I was still playing FIFA and things like that, but not really playing games properly. But
you weren't recording several podcasts a week talking about your...
no. But so that's it really. My gaming history in a nutshell.
And what would you say your favourite genre of games are?
God damn. Probably most recently, open world. I think I've come to love that as a genre. I think Breath of the Wild was my first open world game.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Well, there you go, because I didn't play anything before that.
Yeah.
And open world games weren't really invented, other than like GTA, if we're counting that, GTA 3. I don't know. But so I would say that's probably my favourite, and then I like a 2D platformer. You can never beat them. Like, they're always good fun. And RPGs. Hard to tell. Hard to say, really. Tactical RPG I quite enjoy, but probably open world on balance. Just getting lost. And
you like those weeby games, don't you, as well?
I'm partial to the old JRPG. Yes.
Anything
Yeah,
big
something about an open
cartoon
world
tits.
game and just yes, if you could combine them in a game, then happy days. Yeah.
No. Okay. What is your favourite game of all time, Benjamin?
It's Persona 5 Royal.
There you go. See?
There's actually surprisingly few massive anime tits in that, though. To be fair,
Quite
I think
weedy though.
that's-
Still.
It is quite weedy, but yeah, brilliant game. Prior to that, it was Elden Ring, and then Breath of the Wild. They're all kind of
Wow, Elden Ring
three of those.
made it to the top, did it?
Yeah, I mean, last year, up until playing Persona 5 for the first time last year, then Elden Ring was my top dog. That's
Wow, it didn't last very long though, and then it was just knocked off the boat.
No, it
straight
had a
away
good year. It had a good year in the sun. Yes.
Yeah. How long until Persona 5 takes a hit?
Until Masternoid makes it up there, isn't it?
That would be yours. Is it what's on? Is there anything on the horizon, Ben, that you think what's your most anticipated game that you've got right now?
I don't know. There's so much still I need to get back to from 2023 that it's very hard to look ahead to 2024.
Yeah.
There's nothing this year that I'm massively excited about beyond the Prince of Persia, which is coming out imminently anyway. There's nothing else that I'm like really excited by. So yeah, I need to get back to Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, all of the VR games that we haven't played yet. Moss Book 2, I want to get that one.
You're a compulsive game starter. Is that fair to say?
I do. That's my favourite part of a game. I always say the best bit of a JRPG is like the first 40 hours where you really just learning the mechanics.
The last 95 in a slog.
yeah. But yeah, so I like trying a bit of everything, and I think in previous years I've been a bit like, well, no, I need to see this through to the end. Whereas in 2023 there was so much, I was just like, the second I stop enjoying something, I'm just stopping playing it now rather than pushing through. Because who's got time for that?
No.
There's so much good shit to play.
And preferred platform? Are you team blue, green, red, PC? What kind of are they?
Well, it's still got to be the Switch for me.
Still the
Nintendo.
Switch.
Yeah. Still, as much as I love,
Was it the Switch
PlayStation.
Cross Players platform of the year? Was it last year or the year before? I was just incredulous.
last year, year before, this
Every
year,
year.
every year.
Every year.
It's basically,
God.
yeah. I mean, it had the best games last year, arguably, pound for pound.
It was a good year last year for Switch. I would say last year was good.
Yeah, and Nintendo roots.
Just a shit rubbish.
Yeah, I think you're like, well, I don't know if you are like me. I am crying out for a Switch 2 now because my Switch now is I'm still rocking the OG Switch that is, that's just like sellotape together now with duct tape, just so I hold it all together and just keep it limping over the line until I can upgrade because I'm just loath to.
September, that's fine.
Well, yeah, they said that, didn't they? But I know the second that I buy, if I went out and bought an OLED, that would guarantee that the next day they'd reveal Switch 2.
There's no shame in having multiple Switches, I think. I mean,
How many Switches do you own, Ben?
In this house,
Well,
they're not all
in
mine.
other people's houses? I don't know.
They're not all mine. Well, they're not all mine. So obviously, I don't know. There's like
Okay, how many Switches have you bought?
6 or 7, something like that,
Wow, that's a lot of Switches.
in this home.
That's a lot in this home.
But yeah, I love the Switch. I think the PlayStation Portal has made PlayStation more of a viable option for me because I don't always I very rarely like sitting upright playing a video game.
You may have preempted the answer to one of my questions then, because let's jump into the quick fire round. Before we have a little very special Ben-based quiz for you all here.
Ooh.
Ben's like, what the fuck is that going to be all about? Well, we shall see. Quick fire round, and I think some of these, I may have recycled some of these from when we did this for Alex, so I think I'm probably going to know the answer to many of these already. But for our audience's benefit, can you tell us trophies, yay or nay?
Yay!
Oh, yes, of course. Mario or Sonic?
Mario.
Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Switch or Steam Deck? You're so easy. I could have just done this for you. Easy mode or hard mode?
Easy mode.
Story or high scores?
High scores.
Really? Interesting.
I mean, we've probably given the opposite answers to people would have expected to that question.
Quill or Astrobot? That's more of an
Astrobot.
Console or PC? Console.
Console.
God of War or The Last of Us?
God of War.
You hate The Last of Us, don't you?
Because it's good.
You can't get over that. So you're not going to be playing The Last of Us 2 remastered?
Oh, it's only a £10 upgrade, and I bought the other one when it was dirt cheap, so I might give it a go.
2D Zelda or 3D Zelda?
2D Zelda.
Despite Breath of the Wild being your favourite game of all time. Anyway, DualSense or Xbox wireless controller?
DualSense.
Of course. Indies or AAA?
Indies.
TV or handheld?
Handheld.
Single player or multiplayer?
Single player.
There you go. Well, there you go, audience. That's hopefully that gives you an insight into what makes this man tick. The man behind the Synapse jumper. Inside the Synapse jumper. I don't know. Right, I've got a quiz for you now, Ben, just to round up the show.
Wow. That wasn't the quiz.
That wasn't the quiz. No, that was the quickfire round. Now we have the
When
quiz.
do we get to my song that Ethan done for me?
Okay. So I can only play that card so
Come
often.
on. That's not fair.
No, Alex is going to sing Happy
I'm
Birthday
going
to
to
you
sing for
instead.
you.
Oh God, take it back.
Just going to close out the show with Alex's singing. So just
Happy
thanks, Ben.
birthday
You've
to
ruined the surprise.
you.
Hold on, Alex. We're not doing it yet. People have got to. Don't want people to switch off yet. We've got a quiz. Right, Ben. Questions are all related to various Bens. So I expect you to be an expert.
The Christmas quiz, isn't it?
Yeah, no, this is very much a video game quiz. Because first question: Sushi Ben is an upcoming PSVR 2. So I'm staying topical here. PSVR 2 narrative adventure game where you have to save your favorite sushi restaurant from going out of business. Its unique characters are brought to life by the narrative talents of Moa, the creator of the critically acclaimed visual novel Hatoful Boyfriend. Hatoful Boyfriend is, of course, a dating sim where you play a teenage girl that has to find love with which type of animal?
Pigeon.
Congratulations, 1 point.
I listened to you, Laurie.
Yeah,
If not for you, I wouldn't have had a clue
mentioned
about
that a few times, so that was the first easy one.
And I'm the weeb.
How many times have viewers had to re-watch the death of Peter Parker's Uncle Ben in the history of Spider-Man on the big and small screen? And thank you, Reddit, for answering this one for me.
How many times?
Have a guess. You're not going to know the answer. For sure.
14.
No, I'm afraid that's wrong. Alex, you got a chance to steal. Do you think it's higher or lower than 14?
Higher.
It was higher.
Higher than 14. Let's see, 9 times. Peter Parker's Uncle Ben has died on the big screen. So Ben.
So I win.
No, you don't get the point, but neither you get the point for that.
I was close.
There's no points.
No, it's not about who's closest.
High scores, Laurie.
You got it
I love
wrong.
them.
Alex gets the chance to steal. Right, Ben, if I had a pouch of Uncle Ben's microwave rice, and I do, it's just downstairs right now, how long would I need to microwave it for in a 900-watt microwave?
2 minutes.
No, you idiot.
90 seconds.
Alex, yes, you've stolen the point. Well done, Alex. Your knowledge of microwave rice
I've never
is far
had
superior
microwave
to
rice in my life, but yeah.
If you've got a pouch of Uncle Ben's rice, then that is about 3 years out of date because they've stopped calling it that.
What do they call it now?
Just Ben's now, I think.
Ben's. All right, well, okay.
Yeah.
Bento boxes are,
Counts
of
all
course, the multi-compartmental boxes of pre-prepared Japanese food. But approximately how many bento lunch boxes are prepared at home each year in Japan?
See how this feels then?
4 million.
No, Alex, you think it's higher or lower than that?
Higher.
Higher, yep. Well, I can
400
say, Alex,
million.
you've got the point. Well done, Alex. The answer, according to some website I saw, is 5 billion.
5 billion?
That's what it said, man.
5 billion?
That's what it said. I mean,
Okay.
that's
5 billion bento boxes in Japan.
Okay, next question. Name the actor who was nominated for an Academy Award in the Best Actor
Ben
category. Incorrect.
Ben
Alex?
Affleck.
No. Okay, next question.
What, for what?
For Best Actor for his portrayal of Alan Turing in The Imitation Game.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes, that's
Benedict
correct.
Cumberbatch.
Well, Alex got there first. Alex, you're not
Yeah,
playing
I
this.
said it
It's-
properly.
I'm always playing.
well, I mean, you said Ben Kingsley, so that's wrong. The Ben 10 franchise revolves around a young boy named Ben Tennyson, who discovers the Omnitrix, a high-tech device that lets him transform into what?
10 different monsters.
I'm not sure.
Aliens?
Aliens! Congratulations, that's better. You can have that. I'll give you that. Yeah, you can have that one. Well done. I thought you'd get that
Well,
one.
it was correct, wasn't it?
Ben Nevis is the tallest mountain in the British Isles, over 4,000 feet above sea level. Now, over 100,000 walkers climb it each year, and most use a path known as the what type of track? So it's the something track. What is it?
Big.
The big track. Alex, come on. You're Scottish.
The wee track. There we
The
go.
V-track.
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
So neither of you have ever walked up Ben Nevis
I've been to
before?
the bottom of it. I've never climbed it.
Oh, well, if you've been to the bottom of it, you would have been at the bottom of the pony track. I'd thought, Alex, Ben, you would have got that. You'd be a big pony.
I thought you would have.
You would have. Well, I was actually asking the questions, wasn't I? So how was that for you? Okay. What?
I have climbed Snowdon, though.
Okay, well, that's good. Yeah,
You
got a point
said
for
that, is
that?
it?
Well, I have a point for that. Go on.
Irish.
Oh, I don't then. Fuck you. Okay, next question. How many Bens do I have saved in my phone?
3.
It's not your quiz, Alex.
Right. I'm going to say 2.
So yourself. You think I only know one
Oh,
other
you've got-
Ben other than yourself? Yeah, I've got you saved in my phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Alex was closer, so Alex gets the point, I'm afraid. I have 4 Bens.
4 Bens.
4 Bens, yeah.
I've only got 1, and that's me.
You've got your own
not
self
fair.
saved in your own phone.
Yeah.
I only have you as well, Ben. You're my one and only
Thank you.
Ben.
No, there's a neighbour called Ben. I've got my NCT friend called Ben, and one of my boss is called Ben. There you go. And yourself. Right, final question you'll be pleased to know.
Thank fuck for that.
Name. Right, you get 9 points available now. You've got a final blowout. So, Alex, you've got a chance to come in and just swoop in and steal the Ben quiz and win the official Ben
Wow.
of the Year award. It's a nice award to win. Name as many varieties of Fray Bentos tinned pies as you can. And there are
Steak and
9
kidney.
available.
Stop. That was
Hold
what I
on.
was going to say.
No, let Ben go first. Let Ben go first.
Steak and kidney.
Yeah.
Chicken and mushroom.
Nope.
Chicken.
Yeah, go on. You can have that. It's actually called Just Chicken.
Just chicken.
Just Chicken. It's all
Beef.
in there.
Steak. Beef.
Steak and ale.
And steak and something, I'm afraid.
Steak and ale.
Nope.
We've said steak and kidney, haven't we?
Yep.
What else?
No,
do
we said
people who eat pies, what do they eat? I don't know. Corned beef.
Corned beef. Well,
macaroni.
something. Macaroni. Are you crazy?
that's a Scottish thing. No, I don't know. I've never had one of them things in my life, and
Me neither.
I don't ever intend to. So
You're
I
not.
don't know. Horse.
Horse. No. Well, how many do you get there? 1. I'll give you a steak. You can have steak because it's steak and gravy.
Of course.
That's
The name
just
of the
steak
pie.
pie.
You can have that. Yeah. You could have had all day
Can I
breakfast.
phone a friend? Dan.
Dan. I bet he'd have done better than you.
He'd have smashed that.
Yeah, well, let's ask. I'll tell you what. After this, put in the Patreon group. Ask the question and see who gets the most. You could have had all day breakfast, chicken curry, steak and kidney. You got vegan steak and kidney. They're on the
fuck
bandwagon
off.
now. Yeah, vegan steak and kidney, steak and gravy, vegetable balti,
Oh no.
cheese and onion, just chicken, and then finally classic in their oeuvre, minced beef and onion.
Oh my god! Everything about that
They
repulses
are
me.
really fucking grim, I can say. Sorry, Fray Bentos. I think, Fray Bentos, if you're listening, send Ben some of your pies, and maybe next week he'll talk about how good
Rate
they
your
were.
pie.
Rate my pie. His face doesn't look keen on the idea. Right. Oh God. Well, how was that for you, Ben? I think you. I think I wasn't keeping score. Really, I'm not sure. Alex won that. You did it.
Shame.
I
was.
think
There's not
Alex,
riding on that.
I think Alex. I think you did manage to steal it somehow. So Alex, congratulations. You are Ben of the year.
Dylan Ben.
Yep, you win top
Yeah.
Big Ben of the Year award. Big Ben.
No, I just want to win Ben.
Okay, you win Ben.
You've won me.
He's
I
going to
am
buy
now
you a
yours.
Switch. No more prize.
Just what you always wanted.
Good. Well, good to know you a bit better now, Ben. I hope that's satiated our audience's insatiable lust for more information about yourself. Good. Well, unless you've got anything else to say, and if you do, gents, frankly, I don't care. We've run out of time. So, audience, thanks again for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, please do tell your family and your friends all about us. They too could be listening to quizzes about Ben in their spare time. If you want to get more involved in all of this for some reason, then please don't hesitate to drop into our Discord and say hello. Thank you to everyone who's done so already. Last but not least, thank you to all the patrons for supporting the work we do. You are all bloody brilliant. I've been your host, Laurie. These two have been Ben and Alex, and we will see you again next time. Until then, though, it's goodbye.